Hello and welcome, Pokemon trainers! Professor Chime here, and some of you have been asking about how to specifically do the Pokemon Mystery Gift exploit, but for Generation 4. Let me go into a little more detail here about how to do the Gen 4 thing if you have a very specific setup, I should say. So a lot of people have been asking, and I personally used a N600 Netgear router to get Gen 4 to work. I'm sure there's a ton of other options out there, but a lot of people want very specific instructions, and that's just so hard to give. So I'm going to tell you how to do it on mine, and if you happen to have the exact same setup or you're buying an N600 just for this exploit, by all means, it's all you. Alright, just wanted to give a little bit of an extra visual here. I am in my living room area. As you can see, I've got a lot of things here. So what I have is I have a modem here. It's a Spectrum modem from Charter Spectrum. This is a Google On Hub. This is just my normal setup. You can see here is a Netgear. It's an N600. It's the Wireless Extreme for PC and Mac, I think is what it's called. And it is hooked in the back here and hooked to the On Hub. So don't mind the dust, ignore the dust. So when you set up the router and all that and everything's hunky-dory in there, you go into it's routerlogin.net on a Netgear N600. I don't know offhand what it would be if it was Linksys. I don't know what it would be if it was any other brand. But on the Netgear, I have a Wireless Extreme, is what it's called. And you use routerlogin.net when you're connected. And it should log you in to it. It's going to ask for a username and a password. The generic one is admin, and the password is password. Once you're in, you go to wireless, and you go down, and you'll see options for like WPA, WPS, and WPS2, those kind of things, but you'll see WEP, and that's what you'll want to click on. It's going to give you a little box. Type in whatever password it is that you want it to be, because you're going to hit generate right after it, and it's going to generate like 4 or 5 options, and your little radio button, whatever one that you want it to be out of those like 4 or 5, that's your WEP key. So you're going to hit apply up at the top, and then you're done. That's your WEP key. Write it down and you're done. There's nothing else you have to do there. Just so you know, because it uses a much older signal at that point, like I'm running about 150, 200 megabits per second on my internet. I max out under that router about 17 at most. It's ridiculously slow, so just be careful because it will take some time to get through this. From there, you're gonna go into your system, and you're going to, whether it's a 3DS or a DS or whatever, you're going to take your Gen 4 cartridge, whether it's Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, or Soul Silver, and you'll put the game in. You'll get into the game itself, and you'll have that initial menu where you can start the game or new game, things like that. Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, I think it's actually called Nintendo WFC on the screen. You'll click it, and it's going to look very similar to like if you're putting it into a 3DS in the modern games or even the Gen 5 stuff. So I have mine here. I have it named Serenity. It's a very old router, N600 Netgear for your knowledge. And in there, I have a WEP key that I had set up. In order to do it on the Netgear, you have to do the routerlogin.net. And then you come down, and just like you do in the Generation 5 version, you put in the same code, the 164.132.44.106. Except instead of doing all of this within the 3DS itself, you're doing it in the game, as you noticed. So when I go back, you would save everything, of course. And when you go back, I'm already in the game because it's not within the 3DS. Old games have to set up a within the game itself as opposed to in the system back in the day. So I'm going to show you this working. Mystery gift. So I got one a second ago. It was Darkrai. And we want to go to mystery gift, receive gift, and you go get via Nintendo WFC Wi-Fi connection is what it stands for. It will search for gift. If it connects, a lot of times you'll see it turn green and full bars up here in the corner. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Oh, so we got Oak's Letter next, which is one of the mystery gifts you can get. Cool. So we got a Darkrai, we got Oak's Letter. We'll do one more just to show you the process working. This should allow for 3 in this game before I start having to delete Wonder Cards. Mystery gift. Give you a Wi-Fi connection. It'll go from red to green up here. Oh, the rise of Darkrai. So we technically have 2 Darkrai's now. Because the first one was Darkrai. It was a different Darkrai. If I do recall, there are like 4 different Darkrai's on Pearl and Diamond. And then we're going to go into the game. So I bought this, by the way, from a secondhand shop, and I never got around to restarting it. So it already had 7 badges and Pokedex and time in it. And someone named Destiny had it, so cool. We don't have to worry about any of the silly stuff. We just can move right along. So, when you get into the Pokemart, you'll see the delivery man right here. You'll talk to him, and I'll receive my Darkrai. I'll receive Oak's Letter. And I'll receive... Oh, my party is full. So, I check the Pokemon. So, the random Pokemon here, this was the Darkrai. Summary. So, this is the Darkrai that I got from the mystery gift. It is a mild nature. It's the Alamos one, so there are about 4 Darkrai that are Alamos out of Pearl and Diamond, and I believe Platinum too. I could be wrong offhand. Alright, one little extra tidbit to know is if you go to Mystery Gift and you check cards, you'll see the 3 cards that you have in here. And you'll see the Oak's Letter, and I got the 2 Darkrai here. And you can only hold 3 in the Generation 4 games, so you're going to want to discard them after you've received the gift. So you have to go in after every 3 and trash them. So you'll go in, you'll pick up the items from the guy, and then come out of the game after you've picked them up and trash the 3 cards where you have no cards, and you'll essentially rinse and repeat. So you'll see receive gift, I have no cards, and in the exact same way you find a gift. Alright, so this one is the Diamond and Pearl Manaphy event. So, there you go. That's how you do that. Another little tidbit to add in is that some people get their phone hotspots to work, which is fine and dandy, except like some of the newer phones like my Pixel 2 does not work. No matter how hard I try, I cannot get my Pixel 2 to connect to my 3DS, DS, whatever have you. There's nothing I can do. I would just happen to be lucky enough to have an old router still just laying around in a box that worked. So there's that. If you do the hotspot option, you have to turn off your security, which leaves you completely open to anyone, so please be careful. This is my disclaimer here of I don't recommend it, especially if you live in a crowded neighborhood. Anyone can log right in, and you are completely open at that point until you add a password. So be careful. Check out the videos to the side, and like and subscribe down below. As always, stay cool, Pokemon trainers. Have a great day.